Hi everyone, Paul Nikolic here. Today we're going to be talking about water infiltration and moisture in basements for the month of March home maintenance tips. I thought it was going to be very fitting as we will continue to experience thawing and we will have many people with water in their basements. And today I'm going to be discussing how we have saved our clients, dozens of our clients, tens of thousands of dollars each over the years. And I so hope this will help you and your family. Whether or not you are considering selling your home, this could be very useful information for you as well. So I'm going to go down the list of a number of different things that we can do to be proactive about preventing water and moisture infiltration in your basement without having to spend thousands and thousands of dollars. So what we're going to start with right now, as it relates to that, is many times I have clients, and I'm looking at a bunch of questions right now that I've compiled over the years from different clients. And I'm going to start with some of the most common, and that's going to be, I'll have a client say, I just had a big thaw, big rain, and there's water trickling where the two walls meet in the corner of the basement. And they're just utterly panicked and very concerned. When I go to the home, typically this is a result of, somebody's thinking about putting their home on the market. And what I'll do is walk around the house. And inevitably, the majority of times, I look at the downspouts, and the downspout terminates right at the corner of the home. There's not even a downspout connection that's extended 6 feet or more away from the home. And I will say that 9 times out of 10, if you spend the $20 on a downspout extension, that will eliminate that trickle in the basement. Now I'll have other clients tell me that they have, moisture staining along their walls. And say, for example, maybe it's a 10, 12 foot section where they see moisture staining on various courses of the basement. So it could go, up 5 feet, it could go up 3 feet. And, they're kind of wondering, what's going on? And then again, we will look at a couple of other very simple factors. And one of those is the gutter is clogged. Is there all kinds of debris in the gutter and the downspouts? What'll happen during very heavy rain pours or large thaws, as we've been experiencing with the big snow loads on the roofs, water will then cascade over the roof. And when you have these big torrential rain pours, the water is just literally going straight down. So even if you don't have a hampered drain tile system, it just won't be able to keep up. Therefore, there will be some water that's suspended in the block. So those are two of the most common things that I see. And unfortunately, a lot of times homeowners don't get educated when they go to put their home on the market, and then they don't address these issues before the sale. Now a buyer makes an offer and the seller accepts the offer. And now what happens is there is this immediate need to show this buyer that's going to be purchasing the home in 30 to 60 days that there's no problem with moisture infiltration. And unfortunately, what I see all too many times is that immediate satisfaction entails getting a contractor out to redo the drain tile system. And the drain tile's redone, and now that homeowner is spending thousands and thousands of dollars, when in reality, had they just spent a little bit of time, gone through a couple of different weather patterns, played around with the gutters and downspouts, that simple trickle could have been, a $20 repair. So again, just really recommend before you would go to market, you can certainly always feel free to contact me with as much advanced time as you can possibly afford before you put your home on the market. The next thing I'll talk about is when those simple fixes don't work, what I like to do is look at the grade. What is the pitch towards the house? Is it pitching away or is it pitching towards the home? So when I look at the soil, I'll think in terms of, can I drive that water away from the home? And that would be the next thing that we'd be thinking to do in terms of driving that water away. Now, in some cases, inevitably, there's no such thing as a perfect home. You're not going to be able to achieve a perfect pitch with the grading, which means extending that grade away from the home, a couple inches per foot. And then we would move towards what I would refer to as an impervious membrane. So that could be plastic sheeting. That could be a rubber roofing membrane. Think about it like this. If I were to butt up a sheet of plastic, some very heavy milled plastic, and I butt that up against the home, and I had that extended about 6 feet away from the home, and I put some decorative landscaping stone over that plastic sheeting, now, in theory, water will not be able to get to the foundation. You have a 6-foot buffer from the foundation. So you could spend approximately $100, $150 on plastic sheeting, and you could get some landscaping stone on sale. And in theory, with clean gutters, downspouts, and proper extensions, now you will keep water completely away from the foundation indefinitely. So those are the first and most simplistic recommendations that I can make. And one other would be, if, let's say, for argument's sake, the water continues to come in, you might want to look where your downspouts are discharging, and if there's a way to reroute them to an area that does pitch away from the home nicely, where the water can drive away, that would be another outside recommendation. So as far as that goes, that's where we would start on the outside. Now, another common area that I see in many cases when people get water in the basement is the basement windows. And sometimes there are basement window wells, and sometimes there aren't. And what I would say is this: putting in a window well and digging down at least 3.5 to 5 feet, if at all possible, that's the ideal. Filling it up with stone, and that'll allow that water to flow down very nicely. Now, if you already have a window well installed, what I would recommend is digging down as far as you can. And from there, put a very inexpensive, they cost anywhere from $8 to $40 for a retrofitted plastic window well cover. And in doing that, every time it rains, that rain won't go into that window well any longer. And many times I see these trickles that sometimes it actually leaks through the window. Sometimes that window well just fills up, and then you see staining again in the blocks of the basement. And many times people panic. And again, that's just one of those very cost-effective items that can easily rectify basement leakage. So now moving on into the basement, if, let's say, all else has now failed and we're still getting water into the basement, here is another recommendation that I can tell you has saved clients of mine many, many thousands of dollars over the years. And that's this: when you get a trickle in the basement and you are looking in that exact area, and now inevitably you are going to try to fix the problem, what I recommend is to get an independent drain tile test, meaning a contractor that does not do repair work. We don't want a contractor coming in that has a vested interest to do the basement work. We want an independent, non-biased opinion. All too often, I see these repairs that are made, and after the repair is made, I look outside and I see areas where the water was coming in, and those previous items that I mentioned were never addressed. So now we have a brand new drain tile system that somebody may have spent $8,000, $10,000, $12,000 on, and yet the downspouts are still not extended. And yet somebody didn't address the grading, or the gutters you can see are just brewing full of debris. So what I would say is this: an independent drain tile tester can come in, and what you want to do is have them perform part of that test, have them open up that floor where the water is actually coming in to the basement. In many cases, what can happen is they are able to isolate and find that there's just a little blockage and it's only a couple feet long. If that's the case, we are looking at approximately, maybe a couple $100 repair, as compared to if another drain tile test was performed and they were doing that in different areas of the basement. If the drain tile test did not pass, they may end up saying, you need to do the entire drain tile system. And this is why I highly, highly recommend you get a non-biased opinion. Spend that money to get that drain tile test to determine, can that little area be corrected, and can that fix the problem? And I've been very successful over the years with saving clients a lot of money in that direction. So that would be if you have a current drain tile system with a sump pump that discharges outside. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about is those old world homes. Homes in Wauwatosa, Shorewood, Whitefish Bay, Bayview, those homes that might have been built, before 1935 or so. In those cases, you had homes that had what we refer to as web systems, which was an earlier form of drainage. And prior to that, in a lot of cases, there were no drain tile systems or drainage systems built in these homes. And what I would say is this on the older world homes, and this is what I tell my buyer clients: if you don't have intention of finishing off a basement, the question becomes, is it absolutely necessary that a drain tile system be installed? And the answer, in my opinion, is no. You want to be very proactive about your drainage. You want to be very proactive about extending your gutters, your downspouts, and those types of things. And especially in those older world homes where the downspouts go into the city sewer, where it goes straight down. You want to take those out. You want to extend them away from the home, and you go from there. Now, if you have intention on these old world homes to finish off the basement, then yes, you may want to consider having a full drain tile system and a sump pump installed in your basement. And really, in my personal opinion, when you live in an old world home and the houses are built so closely together, and we get these more than once in a blue moon heavy torrential rains, inevitably the water has nowhere to go. And unfortunately, that's the nature of the beast when you live in an older world home. In many cases, you are going to get some moisture infiltration. That's just part of owning an older home. And honestly, even if you have a newer home and we get those big, large rains, unfortunately, sometimes you are just going to get some moisture infiltration, damp walls in a basement. And that's just part of the climate that we live in, and it's just something that we have to deal with. So my summary here today is, whether or not you're selling a home, if you have a question and we can get you in the right direction with a reputable foundation contractor, or if you're experiencing moisture infiltration and you need some advice, we're always happy to help at Nikolic Group Real Estate. And if you are selling and you have the time, consult with us before you go to the market, and we will absolutely help you formulate the best plan. And in the event that you do need to go to the market right away, have no worries. We will guide you every step of the way and make certain that we minimize this as much as possible. That being said, for next month, I'm very, very excited and passionate about the next conversation. We're going to be talking about wall movement as it relates to foundations and basements. And again, how my team and I have been successful in saving our clients lots of money, lots of time, lots of stress, and lots of headaches. Thanks so much. Have a great day.